Hello and welcome back to the Reset channel. I'm Amy Kelly, a life reset and confidence coach, and I'm going to go through with you about my absolute rock bottom and how I rebuilt my life, my identity, and what it really took at the age of 27, 28, going through an early divorce, and all of the things that I've done to change my life, not just in a way that looks good from the outside, what actually feels good for me. So, settle in. I'm going to share absolutely everything. I don't hold back because I wish someone had told me this a couple of years ago. I could have really done with someone, a guide or a mentor, or somebody say, hey, where you're at, this is a point in your life that, yes, might feel like rock bottom, but it's the start of everything. It's the start of your journey, the start of your becoming, and being excited about the journey you're about to go on. Was I excited? No. Was I nervous? Yes. I was like the most scared I've ever been. So I'm going to share a little bit about my story, practical tools and guidance for you as a life coach, and especially in the younger generation. Because yes, when I was looking for mentors and guides, I couldn't find anyone around the 30 age group who'd already been through things, who could understand me at where I was at. And that's why I was like, why is nobody supporting the younger generation too? Like, why do we have to like age category? Or when you're 40 plus and you've gone through divorce, then you maybe seek help. And especially from where I'm from, the UK, coaching and therapy was not really a thing. So at the same time, I didn't know who to turn to. So I'm going to take you back a little bit through my journey. I did everything like the society had set up, went through university, and, I did it because everyone else was going that way, then not really thinking about student loans or anything like that. Went straight into getting married at an early age, buying the house. Everything was great. I can't fault that part of my journey. But when the relationship started to break down, it wasn't great. It just was not good. I wasn't in a good place. I was taking care of like the house and the relationship and everything spiraling, and not really thinking about what I wanted in any of it. I'd always think about what that other person wanted. But that didn't serve me because I was storing so much of like my suppressed emotions of what I really wanted to do. It wasn't serving me at a deeper level. So when everything broke down and I moved back home to my parents' house, 27, 28, I sat there with all the boxes around me and I said, what do I do with my life? At that point, I had never been for a coffee alone. I'd never, obviously, I've been on holidays and travel, but never anywhere alone, fully alone. Um, I was always very lenient on like other people to go with me or what should I do. And I never really judged my own voice. So within a week of everything kind of gone, from the house, the career, the job, everything, I was like, I have an opportunity here to leave. Where should I go? The world is massive when you think about it. I knew nobody on the other side of the world. I didn't have anyone to look up to. I didn't think about where to go. I certainly wasn't entrepreneurial or thinking about business then. I just wanted to leave. And that's what I did. I went on a one-way flight to Mexico City and didn't look back. And haven't really since. Like, it was a journey that I went on. I went all the way through Central and South America, and just been a wild ride. And I drank, I partied, I had fun, and I forgot who Amy was, the version of Amy that was married. I started to find who she is again. She's fun, she's exciting, she loves life, she is adventurous, she takes risks, she's happy. But also at the same time, I met a lot of emotions that I hadn't met before. That version of me who was scared. She was on I'm not going to cry. She was on the other side of the world alone, building this new life, looking like the strong one for everyone else, when really the emotions were still there. I'd left behind a marriage, all my family and friends, a job that I was working towards, a career. I didn't have a house anymore. Everything started to come crumbling down when I was sat there alone. And then I hit a rock bottom where I had a near-death experience in Costa Rica. Anyone who knows Costa Rica, how wild the roads can be. And here's the thing, not listening to my intuition nearly cost me my life. Nearly. And that's why I really started to change my life from that point. That was a year after the divorce, maybe. I was just doing anything I possibly could. I bought a car in Costa Rica at that point, an old car, but I didn't check it. I didn't know what to do. I got somebody to help me, and Then I got this car and loads of things, signs, synchronicities told me not to buy it, but I continued. And then the journey that I would have gone in Costa Rica, the road was blocked and things. And I was like, oh, I know, I'll just go round the peninsula. Worst decision ever. Not knowing where I am. My phone then died. The gas was going on the car. There's so many things. I could have turned back, but I didn't. I kept going like I always do. Push through. So as I was going up this hill through a river in Costa Rica in the jungle, the car failed. The clutch went, and that meant it just wouldn't go into gear. The brake didn't work. The handbrake wouldn't work. Nothing worked. So the hill was like this. The river was at the bottom, and it was just going as fast as it could down the hill. Do I jump out? Do I leave the car? What do I do? Like, it all happened so fast. It's all great in hindsight, but in that moment, I just decided to stay in the car. And thankfully, towards the end, before the river, it was really fast at this point. It smashed into a ravine. Luckily, I was able to get out of the car. Sat there, one of the most pivotal moments of my life. Silence, jungle, me, Costa Rica, life moment where I was like, oh my goodness, what do I do now? Anyway, thankfully, it was a passing point for some taxis. A taxi saw me. He came over. I didn't speak any Spanish back then, so you can imagine the situation. Thankfully, he phoned somebody and Anyway, I got rescued by a tow truck. They got us out, got me out, and we got back. And anyway, that's a whole story from there onwards. But for a good hour, I was alone, just stood there. So the stakes are high when you don't listen to your intuition. The stakes are high when you push through every time in your life, when you don't listen to what you really want to do with your life. I spent a lot of time over the last couple of years wasting just trying to figure it out. Like, what am I even here for? What's my mission? What should I be doing with my life? And then there was so many blocks, energetic blocks. Like, I really wanted to get into coaching, because then I realized, wait, I want to help the younger generation, because I was living in a part of Costa Rica where I got access to like younger, like women, 20s, 30s, similar age to me, who were kind of living a life they didn't want to live. And I would ask them a question like, do you have a dream? And they would say, no, I don't know what my dream is. Or like, I don't know what I want to do in my life. I love living here, but I could never make this my life. And how do you do it, Amy? Because I was living there at the point. It's like everything's possible, everything is. And I realized that I started to think differently. And then I started to go deeper into personal development books, podcasts, YouTube videos, mentors, coaches. I realized that, whoa, I love this. Like, I love to understand myself and why I behave certain ways all my life. And the actual teaching in all of this was I'd been in dysregulation for such a long time that I had no idea, because nobody taught me this. I didn't understand myself at that point. I hid a lot of my emotions. I never shared it with anybody. And I felt lost. I felt behind in life. My friends were getting married, having babies, and I was going backwards. I was getting divorced at 29 on the other side of the world, not really having much to show for my life other than the memories I built in my own mind. I was like, did I do the right thing? Right, but here's the thing. Life is a journey. You're on your journey, I'm on mine. We're all learning all of the time. Could I have prevented some things in my path? Probably. Would I go back and change things? I can't. But what I can teach you, and what I've learned in the last couple of years, is you have all the answers within you. We talk about manifestation. It's a big thing that comes up within my clients. And, oh, Amy, like, I want to manifest my dream life. I believe it. Like, I manifest all the time. We're always manifesting. But what it skips is the actual nervous system work that goes behind it. Because I've returned home now. Right now I'm in my parents' office for a little bit, just for a little bit of a stopgap between certain things in my life. And people recognize the difference in me. They're like, Amy, you've done the work. Like, you seem so much calm and confident and in your power. I'm like, I did the work. Yeah, it took work. And they see the result of, who I am today. I'm not exactly where I want to be, like end goal, but I'm definitely improved from where I was. But with that, They don't see the hard work behind the scenes, and they have the experience of traveling around trying to figure out who I am, what business should I create, how do I get out of this mess, what do I want from my life, the hard nights of building a business that nobody sees, the long nights, the late days, and you think, yeah, but resilient got me here, resilience. And also learning how to regulate, game changer, especially for a woman who is all over. And I don't know if you know anything about human design, but I'm a manifesting generator. My life path is a number one. Everything was leading me on this road: coaching, mentorship, guiding, teaching. Before I did this, like, I don't know, a couple of years ago, right early on in my journey, I was teaching English and I loved teaching. I was like, but what else can I do to bring all of this together, all of the knowledge that I built and created to help other people? Because I can't, there's no way I've gone through that amount of pain to not do anything with it. And then I started to like, okay, there's a curation here. There was a plan all along. I just had to wake up to listen. Have I woken up? Probably. Yeah, I had an awakening. Absolutely. I think most people who do move on with their life or want a different aspect of their life, they wake up. Now, one thing that I want to teach you about of regulation as a high achieving woman is learning to listen to yourself. Hey, I'm not feeling good right now. I need to check in with myself. The power of the pause. You pull away from what you're doing. Go and check in with yourself. Do you need to eat? Have you slept? Have you regulated? Don't be afraid of pulling away from your normal, like your day to day or your job or a relationship to just say, I need 5 minutes. I'm not okay right now. If you aren't looking after you, who is? We talk about filling up your own cup. How are you filling up your own cup? What are you doing? Because if you're working 24 hours a day and sleeping for 5 and then like, always on, this is not sustainable. You will hit burnout, then there'll be a health scare, then there'll be something. Yes, I'm talking from experience here and I can talk about this because this is my journey too. And oftentimes when we want to make big steps or changes in our life, a career, or Amy, I want to go and live in that country, or Amy, I want to start the business. Cool. What are you doing towards that? Because action is what's going to get us there. Just like me taking that one-way flight, was it the scariest thing I've ever done? Absolutely. Even looking back, I'm like, how did I ever do that? Now I've got friends all over the world. I've traveled, I lived in different countries. I've created a life beyond what my vision could even have been. And I did that from leaving here, my hometown, to do that. But that doesn't mean that you have to create this crazy life to change. It means you have to take action. Get yourself in bigger rooms. Find people who are going to mentor you. Find a way to live a life that you truly desire, because we all have desires. Every single one of us has dreams, hopes, things they want to achieve in their life. Don't sit back and say, I'll wait till next year, or I'll wait that thing to happen. You've got to move. And if you're going through a life reset like I did, kind of use that as momentum to go forward. Yes, it's the hardest thing sometimes in the world. Would I want to go through a divorce again? Probably not. I don't want to go through any of that heartbreak and pain again. But I took the risk on getting married early. I did the thing. I've lived a different life too. Fully remote, lifestyle, building a business, creating these things. I've had both sides of the spectrum, like solid house, career, marriage. I've also had freedom, lifestyle, living in different countries. I think the meat would be, for me personally, be somewhere in the middle. I've enjoyed my traveling, but looking for more of a home base would be exactly where I'm heading next. So where you are right now is not the rest of your life. It does not define your future. It doesn't mean that that's the rest of your time. Oh no, I'm going out of sync. It does not define the rest of your life. It's just a stage. Using where you are right now towards a life that you want. If you're having to work a little bit of a side job, whether you have to create something, knowing that you are on that journey of your becoming. Nobody gets there overnight. Success doesn't exist. What you see of the Amy today is the years of hard work to get here. The work will continue. Even for me, the next steps for me are so big, like they scare me. But that's what I'm doing. I'm at home right now for a stopgap, for for a reset, for a moment like, I need to be with my family and friends right now. Yes, I love living away. Yes, I've created a lifestyle. But remembering who you are to the core. So, where am I today? What have I created in these last, I would even just say year, let's be honest. First year I was traveling. The second year I was like, okay, I want to do something. This last year is like, let's ramp this up. So, I went from, a past relationship that broke down. The same week all of that happened was I had a relationship breakdown. The dog that I had with my ex-husband died. My parents left Costa Rica with all within the same day. I was like, oh my goodness, I can't cope. My nervous system went into overdrive. Does that mean I learned how to regulate? I gave myself time. I said, Amy, this is not your end. This is just a part in the journey. And from that, I then went to Miami. I had an amazing time. I spoke on stages. I've helped other women on their journey of their becoming. I've created a podcast called Dream Big with Amy. I've interviewed some amazing guests, like someone who's a best-selling author, to neuroscientists, to big creators. I'm like, oh, wait, I can do that. And I've just checked my statistics on LinkedIn. Yeah, it's just a number. I think I'm 1.1 million impressions or something in 6 months. So I'm just starting my journey. I'm helping women become that unshakable version. My program is the Unshakable Woman. I created it because this is through my own journey of my becoming. And I was like, wait, we need to work on our emotions here. I work on self-identity, mastering emotions, manifestation, reclaiming parts of yourself that you've lost, the good girl programming, all of the stuff that nobody really speaks about. It's like, we have to put this together. And I work the mind, the body, and the spirit, all of it, because I co-create, because we're not here alone. None of us are here alone. And I think when you've got a support team behind you, you can lean on them and say, hey, I need a bit of help right now. Don't forget to ask for help. Look for the signs of synchronicities. Look for the people who've been removed from your life. Look who are being put into your life. Look where the message doesn't really stop. My mission is so strong, I can't let it go. Right? I'm like, people really look at me like, what is she doing? Like, she doesn't stop. Someone said to me the other day, like, wow, Amy, you create content all the time. I'm like, yeah, I know, because I do the work and it takes time. And I love what I do and I love what I've created. And I know that I'm helping so many hundreds of people, even it's not just personally, it's the content, it's the creation. And I will continue doing this. So one thing that I'd love for you to take from all of this is you're on your journey. I wish I could speak to 3 years ago Amy and say, look at you, look what you can do. Look what's possible on the other side of that fear. Look at the life you're creating. Look at the relationships you've made. Look at the business you're helping other people. Imagine if I'd have just stayed in that room here. Imagine if I'd just gone to the regular job and not took any risks. Imagine the Amy who just said, I can't do this anymore. Because there was a time I didn't want to do this anymore. I got that low. I did. And yeah, I don't know why I had to go through some of the things I did, but it is what I've created from that. I'm much happier, much lighter. I believe so much in my vision and my life, and I hope that from this that you take something that you say, right, Amy, I want to create a different life. I want to go move to that country. I want to start my business. I won't let fear hold me back, because everything's related to our energy, money, relationships, lifestyle, whatever that is. You deserve to live a life beyond your wildest dreams. That's why I created a podcast called Dream Big with Amy. That's why I'm the visionary. That's why I created something where I can only see it in my mind, but you have a vision too. Remembering that your dream is absolutely possible for you. Don't ever let anybody tell you can't achieve that. Look at the thing. I mean, if you want to use my story as a little bit of inspiration, like, okay, I've been featured in this major magazine. Yes, I've got to be able to speak on the stage at this amazing university. There are things out there waiting for you to go and grab it. It's your time. It's your future. It's your dreams. I believe in you. I know you can do this. Keep dreaming big as always.